And welcome back to a quick video with my fish room yet again. I say quick, but it may not be quick, I have no idea. No editing, just video of fish. If you haven't seen my fish room before, it is a big mess. There is a banana lounge, there is a big meter-long redtail cat that I've had for 21 years. If you want to see more redtail cat stuff, there are videos on my redtail cat. There you are. Doesn't look very big on camera, does he? But he's a big fish. Lots of cichlids in there, another 9 foot by 4 foot. So this is 4 foot front to back to give you an idea of how big it is. Lots and lots of cichlid grow out here. I'm not going to show you around the other side where all the stingrays and stuff are because that was, I think, in the last video or something like that. All these guys are going well. These are all my L number plecos, which are just fancy sucker fish. Yeah, a little bit cold at the moment. I think it's water's at like 22 degrees, so they're not going to breed at 22 degrees. But what is going to breed is my cool blue angelfish. And if I zoom in, how pretty are they? So that's the boy at the back. That's the girl coming to the front. Who's that pretty girl? My glass is pretty dirty. There are the eggs just on the other side of that the male is tending to. Going to get back into breeding angels. Don't even ask me what type they are. There's some fancy blue angel. I've got more of them lurking around in my sump. Those two are paired off, so we're letting them do their angelfish stuff. And eventually, I will need grow-up room for the angelfish. Yeah, which I haven't even dealt with right now. So we'll deal with that when we deal with that. But this video, this is new. Here it is. I still have space in the middle, trying to keep it open. This rack here, which wasn't being used, is 4 2-foot tanks, and they are all drilled with overflows, which I'm going to hook up to a pipe going into either this tank here, well, it is going to go into this tank here, but I may hook this one up to this system, and this is the Malawi cichlid system. I don't think there's any Tanganjikans in there at the moment. No, they're all Malawi cichlids. They were in my last video as well, so there'll be a link at the end of this video, so I won't bore you with the same fish continuously. What I do need to sort out is Mr. Groper. He's a Queensland groper who's completely covered in algae, aren't you? Sorry. He needs to come out of this tank. This is a 6x3 and he is getting way too big for that. But anyway, getting back to these guys, they keep breeding, which is good because that's what we want. We want to grow some fish up. So all their fry are currently in these little tanks here, well, these little tubs. It's a totally different pH than this system. Yeah, so need to get them out of these tubs pretty quick. They're going to go into this system, so I just need to hook up a heater to this or hook up this system to these 4-foot tanks. And all these 4-foot tanks are all connected to each other with a canister filter, and they've got sponge filters in each one. Same sort of idea of this, sponge filters in there, and we're just going to hook up the water to this so it drips through. So the filtration is the sponge filters, but just a bigger water volume. And that works super well. That's how all these tanks are rigged up. It's just a sponge filter in each tank, hooked up to the sump down the bottom. The sump is not really the filtration. The sump is just pushing the water all through these tanks. So it works really well. Been doing this for years. Yeah, doesn't really work in a commercial setup or a retail setup because if something happens with new fish in one tank, it'll go through every single tank and nuke everything. I do use ozone and UV sterilization, but still diseases will spread if you do that. So all these fish are technically quarantined before they go into my systems. And I've had most of these fish for years. Like those blue angels, I think I've had for about a year or so growing up, and they've been moved around a few times. They are fine. This system around here, baby fish grow up. Yeah, I know. What can you say? There are too many baby fish. Some very cool baby fish. Some that are not so baby anymore. I did put a lot of the baby fish, and I need to still move this rack, in my sump. This is a 1200 litre sump. Filtration, yes, that's a swimming pool filtration. Not even going to go into the big tank at the moment. But yeah, there are baby fish in my sump as well. So I need to sort that out. And a giant gourami. But hopefully I will have time to move this rack soon because there's just not enough room in this aisle that I keep saying. Won't worry about that tank, never worry about that tank, but it's mostly hooking this up in the next week or so. So I do need to get some lighting for this because at night obviously it's pretty dark. Lighting works. I'm just using these Dimax Rex LEDs. They're expensive, but they work, and I do need more of them. But that is where we are with that. And I did move these tubs. These were the tubs that were in the middle there. Yes, I've connected them both up. These are separate than those two tubs. There's a big catfish in there and a big Murray cod. I know I need to do a video on him. I still haven't done a video on him. Might have to move him out of the black tub because there's a black fish in a black tub and all you see is black. I know. And my phone is not going in the water again because I've destroyed 2 phones that way. But anyway, these 2 tubs here are going to be hooked up to an aquaponics system. So I'm just going to pump water from those ponds way down there into this system. And this water here is my water change water for my other system around the other side. Yeah, it gets a little bit crazy. Yeah, don't you wish you were me? But anyway, those 2 are hopefully going to stay there. There is enough room there for them. Benji just wanders past. Don't know what I'm doing with those 2, but I do have access around there. If you want to see something super, super freaky, check out that. That is all the calcium and minerals in our water attached to these titanium heaters. Hopefully it hasn't wrecked them, but that was sitting in a sump around the other side, and I thought, oh, I better check them. Holy crap. Yes, definitely. So, may have destroyed those. If not, yeah, we'll figure it out. If I can get all that stuff off, which is just scraping it off without damaging the heater underneath, I might just replace them. It might be easier. But yeah, heating is a little bit of an issue. I have different heating systems in different tanks, but it's mostly an Aqualogic controller. Or what are the other ones I'm using? I'm using those things, Inkbird controllers. That one's actually turned off because I've got separate heaters going in there. And then things like the angelfish have got separate heaters as well, so I can just turn those systems off. If you didn't see my old video on all these systems, it goes through how I set them up. Working really, really well. I think it's about a year and a half now. I don't know, I lose track of time, but that system's pretty much the same as this system, and same with the system around the other side. The 2 big tanks are hooked up underneath to the big sump, and yeah, all those are hooked up as well. Obviously sump and sump. There's sumps everywhere. But that is where we are with the fish room. If you enjoyed this quick video, and I'm thinking it's quick, I have no idea, click the thumbs up. If you've got any suggestions about this, or what you would do with this, if you would just have this as one system, or hook it up to the Malawi tanks, comment down below. It'd be interesting to hear what people say about it. I would insulate everything and block everything off, but yeah, no. I've had a fish room for like 25, 30 years, or maybe longer. That's scary. And blocked off humid fish rooms are not great. Yeah, I'm over humidity with mold and everything growing on stuff with condensation. That's why everything is out in the open, lots of airflow. I'm not going to die of mold poisoning, or whatever the hell it's called. But yeah, it just uses a lot more power to heat everything because the ambient temperature is all over the bloody place. But anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. What are you doing sitting down there? You're just doing sits. He's a good boy. He's a best boy. He's a good boy. I'm going to go pat Benji, and we will see you in the next video.